Cruise companies depend on passengers acting inexperienced. Their business model is designed to trick you into overspending on rooms, making rushed decisions on costly shore activities, and purchasing unnecessary improvements. However, there's no obligation to follow their playbook. Buried within terms and conditions and algorithmic systems are particular legal workarounds that informed voyagers currently utilize to obtain complimentary spending credits on board, immediate elite membership, and substantially reduced pricing. We're not simply offering suggestions today. We're revealing 13 crucial tactics to outwit cruise companies, avoid promotional schemes, and retain your funds. This begins with the most commonly missed monetary mistake that 9 out of 10 travelers commit right when they reserve. 1. The repricing loophole, get money back. First up is the repricing workaround. The majority of voyagers make a significant monetary blunder right when they reserve. They confirm a cost and fail to revisit it. In today's cruise industry, rates are flexible and respond to market demands, which means costs can silently decrease any time following your reservation. Though cruise costs don't fluctuate as dramatically as flight tickets, even a small reduction, perhaps from $2,000 down to $1,800, represents genuine savings being forfeited. What matters most? Numerous cruise companies provide cost guarantees for reservations completed prior to the deadline for final payment. When rates fall, the company won't alert customers. It falls completely on passengers to spot the decrease. Knowledgeable voyagers track costs each week through simulated bookings for identical voyages. When reduced rates emerge, contacting the cruise company or booking agent might lead to rate modifications or crediting the price difference for on-board use, occasionally even full reimbursement. However, company rules differ significantly. Certain lines show flexibility whereas others completely decline repricing altogether. This tactic typically covers only the base voyage cost, excluding taxes or dock charges, and functions optimally prior to final payment deadlines. Nevertheless, monitoring costs requires no investment and could readily fund tips, port activities, or additional expenses. 2. The shareholder benefit, free on-board credit. Second is the investor advantage. Though most customers pursue temporary promotions that typically amount to mere advertising tactics, a lasting monetary perk exists that 9 out of 10 cruisers overlook: investor privileges. The leading cruise companies, Carnival Corporation, Royal Caribbean Group, and Norwegian Cruise Line Holdings, extend a special advantage to stockholders owning no fewer than 100 company shares. This isn't a single-use benefit. It's valid for every voyage the investor embarks upon. Think about the shrewd investors during the 2020 pandemic. Throughout the sector's pause, clever cruisers purchased Carnival shares below $8 each and Royal Caribbean around $20. A single buyer invested merely about $800 for their century of shares and has subsequently accumulated beyond $2,000 in complimentary on-board funds, essentially receiving payment for vacationing. Though such minimal prices are gone, the financial logic stays equally compelling currently. Generally, this advantage provides $100 in shipboard spending for voyages lasting 7 or more nights. In the current marketplace, acquiring stock happens instantly through contemporary brokerage applications. The procedure simply involves buying the 100 shares and submitting a sanitized account statement to the cruise company's shareholder services website several weeks prior to departure. For someone cruising twice annually, this produces $200 in untaxed onboard funds yearly, functioning as returns that cover premium meals or internet access. It stands as the simplest no-cost benefit available in the sector. 3. The gift card arbitrage and Costco hack. Third is the gift certificate strategy. AARP membership holders receive reduced-price gift certificates for various services ranging from cinema to dining establishments to, indeed, cruises. Previously, AARP benefits were a favored method to reduce costs by 10% through purchasing cruise company gift certificates at significant markdowns. AARP continues providing reduced digital cruise certificates, presently featuring Royal Caribbean and Celebrity Cruises, permitting members to buy $100 or $500 certificates at approximately 10% savings via their benefits program. Conditions differ, and certificates require redemption following the cruise company's policies. Costco's travel service has become among the most dependable options. Rather than immediate savings on gift certificates, Costco reservations generally feature a significant store credit reward distributed following travel. Not a discounted cruise certificate initially, but a reward connected to the reservation's value. This reward establishes a benefit cycle stackable with executive membership advantages and payment card bonuses, frequently surpassing the conventional 10% markdown. An additional reliable method involves using supermarket fuel reward schemes on gift certificate acquisitions when offered and combining those with payment card benefits to decrease overall travel and gasoline expenses. An important caution: when settling cruise payments using gift certificates, retain the actual or electronic certificate until all reimbursements complete. Reimbursements return to the initial gift certificate, not your payment card. 4. The guaranteed cabin gamble. Fourth is the accommodation approach. Contemporary vessels feature abundant balconies since they produce substantial income, frequently persuading travelers they're essential. Yet, for brief voyages under 5 days, balconies seldom justify their expense. Most travelers utilize their personal outdoor space considerably less than expected, choosing instead to discover the vessel or destinations. The financially wise decision involves reserving an inside cabin for these brief trips and reserving the balcony expense for week-long or extended voyages where relaxation time gets genuinely used. For those unwilling to voyage minus a balcony yet wanting to beat the pricing system, the assured accommodation rate provides savings, though it's a deliberate gamble. This means accepting a reduced cost to choose a tier while permitting the cruise company to designate the precise room position. Though this guarantees the lowest cost, it involves clear hazards. Companies generally assign remaining inventory to such reservations, accommodations positioned beneath fitness areas, adjacent to anchor equipment, or featuring blocked sightlines. For individual voyagers or sound sleepers, it's a valid method to obtain a balcony at ocean view pricing. However, travelers must recognize they might be exchanging control of their rest quality for monetary savings. 5. The status match hack: skip the loyalty ladder. Fifth is the membership matching shortcut. Cruise company reward schemes are frequently overestimated. For typical occasional cruisers, they don't substantially affect which company you should select. Barring multiple weeks of cruising yearly, reaching levels where advantages genuinely transform the voyage remains unlikely. Regardless, numerous travelers still forfeit benefits since they don't completely grasp the advantages they actually possess. Companies publish extensive reward benefit catalogs, yet they're simple to neglect, and vessels infrequently showcase them all. A deliberate review of included benefits is crucial to prevent paying standard costs for laundry services or connectivity packages that should receive discounts. The genuine insider method is membership matching. Rather than gradually advancing the reward hierarchy one voyage at a time, certain companies permit travelers to match current memberships from rivals. Companies like MSC Cruises and Virgin Voyages actively provide such matches, conferring elevated membership prior to your maiden voyage with them merely by providing verification of your existing level. This approach applies to shipboard gambling reward schemes too. Attaining superior gambling levels can reveal complimentary or substantially reduced voyages without requiring frequent sailing. Furthermore, lodging membership with significant chains like Hilton or Marriott frequently enables reward matches, permitting travelers to reach superior levels throughout various travel schemes without years of dedication. 6. Wi-Fi and the eSIM strategy. Sixth is the Internet and eSIM approach. With Starlink connectivity now commonplace, connection quality matters less than expense. Companies forcefully promote multiple device packages charging twice the cost for dual device options. This represents a convenience surcharge. The single device package isn't limited to one particular phone. It merely restricts the connection to one simultaneous device. Voyagers can simply disconnect on one phone and connect on another, dividing a single package between two individuals. Nevertheless, the superior method applies to port visits. Rather than paying the company's daily charge while anchored, informed travelers employ eSIMs from suppliers like GigSky or Aerolo. These applications permit users to obtain temporary connectivity packages for the particular nation they're visiting, frequently costing merely $5 daily. This delivers high-speed 5G connectivity on shore without activating the costly maritime cellular roaming fees or depending on the vessel's internet. Through merging a shared vessel package with inexpensive port eSIMs, connectivity expenses can decrease beyond 50%. 7. The drink package math: stop losing money. Seventh is the beverage package calculation. The alcohol package stays among the biggest revenue sources on contemporary cruise vessels, frequently demanding 6 to 7 alcoholic beverages daily merely to reach the break-even point. For anyone failing to reliably achieve that quantity, the package rapidly becomes a financial loss. A superior tactic involves fully exploiting the company's permitted carry-on beverage allowances, regulations that are openly published yet infrequently highlighted. Most leading cruise companies permit each adult to transport one 750 milliliters wine or champagne bottle aboard during boarding. 4 couples, that means 2 bottles transported at zero expense. Certain companies, including Carnival, additionally allow a dozen canned non-alcoholic drinks per individual. The financial benefits accumulate rapidly. A $7 dozen sodas purchased at home might cost approximately $40 aboard, whereas a $10 wine bottle substitutes $40 to $60 in individual glass pricing after factoring vessel increases and service charges. Beyond mathematics, transporting beverages from home additionally means preventing obligatory bar service charges and selecting your preferred exact brands. Combined with periodic individual purchases, this method nearly always costs less than an unlimited package for average consumers without compromising ease or satisfaction. 8. The specialty dining loophole, steakhouse for less. 8th is the premium dining workaround. Premium eateries like steakhouses and Italian venues provide some of the finest cuisine on cruise vessels, yet evening fees frequently reach $50 to $60 per individual. The intelligent approach involves understanding how to obtain identical quality without full payment. On certain vessels and sea days, some premium locations open for midday meals with selections that nearly mirror their evening selections. Frequently, identical filet mignon or fresh pasta presented at evening meals becomes available at midday for approximately half the expense. The kitchen, personnel, and components remain identical, and midday service typically features fewer crowds and greater relaxation. Availability differs by vessel, so reviewing the daily agenda early proves essential. When premium midday dining isn't available, another alternative exists. Numerous companies permit guests to order premium steakhouse selections such as filet mignon, ribeye, or lobster tail straight in the primary dining area during evening meals for a reduced individual cost, frequently around $20 to $25. This prevents reservations, entrance fees, and formal attire requirements and functions effectively when merely portions of a party desire an enhanced main course. Both approaches provide steakhouse-level excellence at a portion of the expense. 9. The third-party excursion myth. 9th is the independent shore activity approach. Companies employ intimidation as their main promotional method for port activities, constantly warning, booking elsewhere risks missing the vessel's departure. Though technically accurate, the actual probability of missing departure remains exceptionally minimal for travelers managing time sensibly. Most activities begin early, continue only several hours, and still provide substantial buffer before the final boarding call, rendering the warning more promotional than factual. That hazard gets further reduced through utilizing trustworthy independent suppliers like Viator or Shore Excursions Group, which provide clear vessel return assurances. These commitments guarantee transporting travelers to the subsequent destination if delays happen, essentially removing the cruise company's principal benefit. However, intelligent preparation still counts. The most secure method involves scheduling any non-company activity to conclude no less than 2 hours preceding the announced boarding deadline. Traffic in destinations like Nassau or Cozumel proves unpredictable. The principal exception involves full-day activities concluding late where company-organized activities might provide additional reassurance. Applied properly, independent activities provide superior worth without needless anxiety. 10. The dynamic pricing game, Royal Caribbean. 10th is the flexible pricing challenge. For Royal Caribbean passengers, the cost displayed in the cruise planner never truly represents the final amount. The company employs flexible pricing for extras like beverage packages, internet, and entry to features such as the Coco Cay Aquatic Park. Costs fluctuate regularly according to demand and current promotions, occasionally shifting unexpectedly. The successful approach remains straightforward: purchase early and check regularly. Pre-voyage acquisitions completed via the cruise planner receive full reimbursement, permitting travelers to secure a cost immediately when appearing acceptable. When promotions emerge subsequently at reduced costs, the initial acquisition can be reversed and repurchased at the updated cost without consequences. This method might require several purchases, yet it guarantees the minimum achievable cost instead of accepting elevated onboard charges. Delaying until boarding day nearly always means accepting the peak cost. The objective isn't forecasting the ideal promotion, but obtaining the product early and subsequently capitalizing on any cost reduction when occurring. 11. The transfer trap, Uber versus shuttles. 11th is the transportation pitfall. Airport-to-vessel transfers marketed by cruise companies appear as the most convenient choice, yet for typical travelers, they represent weak value. These buses charge per individual costs, frequently $30 to $50 each direction. For individual travelers, this might seem acceptable. For couples or families, expenses escalate rapidly, frequently surpassing $150 or beyond for complete round trips. Beyond cost, company transfers additionally restrict adaptability. Travelers remain bound to the company timetable and might need to wait during luggage loading and seat filling prior to departure. The more intelligent logistical choice involves utilizing ride-sharing platforms like Uber or Lyft, regional taxis, or alternative private transit choices. These platforms charge per vehicle, not per traveler, and deliver direct door-to-door service according to the traveler's timeline. A $50 Uber journey divided among 4 individuals costs merely $12.50 each, a portion of the company transfer expense. Though company transfers provide convenience, they seldom represent optimal worth unless traveling individually or in locations with exceptionally elevated taxi charges. 12. The room power hack. 12th is the accommodation electricity trick. Numerous contemporary cruise vessels employ keycard-triggered electricity mechanisms to preserve energy. Accommodation illumination and temperature control only remain operational while a card sits inserted in the receptacle near the entrance. Removing the card deactivates electricity, frequently rendering the accommodation warm and dim upon returning. The straightforward solution involves transporting a backup card from home, like an expired gift certificate or lodging key, and positioning it in the electricity receptacle on the initial day. The mechanism generally doesn't scan the card's information. It merely recognizes a card-shaped item. This maintains illumination and temperature regulation operating without risking securing the functional accommodation key inside the room. One significant aspect: accommodation attendants receive training to extract these substitute cards as component of energy preservation protocols. When that occurs, it's procedural, not targeted. The simplest compliant choice involves requesting the attendant for an additional electricity card, which numerous vessels supply precisely for this reason. Applied properly, this trick circumvents a mechanism constructed for conservation, not comfort. 13. The calendar game, shoulder season strategy. 13th is the scheduling tactic. Company promotion depends significantly on manufactured pressure. Websites display countdown timers and announcements cautioning that a massive promotion concludes at midnight. The truth, which experienced cruisers understand, is that these promotions operate continuously. Immediately when one expires, the promotion typically gets prolonged or repackaged with an almost identical benefit. Hastily reserving a voyage merely because correspondence claims the opportunity is vanishing represents a promotional scheme that results in excessive payment. The productive method to discover a genuine markdown isn't pursuing a promotion, but instead capitalizing on calendar adaptability. This represents the off-peak period approach. Rather than reserving during prime vacation periods when costs inflate regardless of promotions, informed travelers focus on weeks directly preceding or following the peak, like May, September, or early December. Throughout these periods, conditions frequently remain favorable in areas like the Caribbean or Mediterranean, yet interest declines substantially as educational institutions operate. Through disregarding the limited duration excitement and instead utilizing the adaptable date displays on reservation platforms to locate these reduced demand periods, travelers frequently obtain premium voyages for half the expense of a peak summer journey. Which loophole will you use? At this point, I'm interested in your perspective. Which of these workarounds have you employed to defeat the system? Or does a hidden technique I overlooked exist? Share your thoughts in the comments section. For mastering every element of your getaway, explore the additional content on the channel immediately. Significant additional savings await. Appreciate your viewership and enjoy your voyages.